Right now, millions of people around the world are carrying emotional pain, and they don't even know it's destroying their body from the inside. Here's the thing that nobody talks about. A study from the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences found that emotional pain and physical pain activate the same areas in your brain, the anterior insula and the anterior cingulate cortex. Let that sink in. Your heartbreak, your grief, your rejection, your brain processes it almost the same way it processes a broken bone. So when someone tells you to just get over it, they're basically telling you to walk on a broken leg. And that is not how healing works. But here's the good news, and this is what this entire video is about. Your brain can change. Your body can recover. And by the end of this video, you will have a complete step-by-step system to heal emotionally starting today. But before we even get to the steps, you need to understand what's actually happening inside your body when you're emotionally hurt. Because once you see it, you'll never ignore emotional pain again. And step number 5, that one is going to shock you. When you go through something painful, like losing someone you love, getting betrayed by a close friend, or going through a breakup that came out of nowhere, your brain does something very specific. It sends a danger signal. Your amygdala, which is the part of the brain that handles fear and threat, goes into overdrive. It starts screaming at the rest of your body, "We are not safe." And when that happens, your body releases a chemical called cortisol. Cortisol is your stress hormone. A little bit of it is fine. It helps you wake up in the morning. It keeps you alert. But when emotional pain keeps your cortisol high for weeks, for months, that's when the damage starts. Your immune system gets weaker, your sleep gets worse, and your ability to think clearly drops. This is not just being sad. This is a chemical problem happening inside your body. And if you don't fix the chemistry, the sadness stays. But don't worry, I'm going to show you exactly how to fix it, step by step. Here's what most people get wrong. They think emotional recovery is only about your mind. They think if they just think positive, the pain will go away. No, that's not how it works. Your body is stuck in survival mode. Your cortisol levels are high. Your heart rate is up. Your muscles are tense. You're not just thinking sad thoughts, your entire nervous system is on high alert. And when this goes on for too long, your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain you use when you're deciding what to eat for dinner, planning your week, or thinking about what to say in a difficult conversation, it starts to shut down. It literally gets weaker. Meanwhile, your amygdala, the fear center, gets stronger. So you become more reactive, more anxious, more emotional, and less able to control it. This is why people who are emotionally hurt often say, "I don't feel like myself anymore," because neurologically, they're not. The balance of power in their brain has shifted. But what if I told you there's a way to shift it back? This is where it gets exciting. Your brain has an ability called neuroplasticity. And neuroplasticity means your brain can reorganize itself by forming new connections throughout your entire life. It doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter how long you've been hurting. Your brain can rewire itself. Scientists used to think the brain was fixed after childhood. They thought once you were an adult, that was it. You were stuck with whatever brain you had. But research has now proven that's completely wrong. Your brain is changing right now as you listen to this video. Every new thought, every new habit, every new experience is literally building new pathways inside your head. And this is the foundation of emotional recovery. You are not stuck. Your pain is not permanent. The wiring in your brain that keeps replaying that hurt, that keeps triggering that anxiety, it can be rewired. And I'm about to show you the 8 tools that do exactly that. Tool number 1 starts right now. Step 1. Feel the pain. I know, that sounds backward. You came here to stop hurting, and I'm telling you to feel it? Yes, because here's what happens when you try to ignore emotional pain. It doesn't go away. It goes underground. It hides in your body. It shows up as headaches that won't quit, back pain that doctors can't explain, stomach problems that come out of nowhere, and exhaustion that sleep can't fix. A study published in the journal Brain Imaging and Behavior found that unprocessed psychological pain activates a network in the brain that includes the thalamus, the cingulate cortex, and the prefrontal cortex, all areas connected to how you feel and how you function every day. When you push pain down instead of processing it, these areas stay activated. Your brain stays on high alert, even when there's no danger. So the first step is simple but not easy. Sit with it. Name it. Say it out loud. I am hurt. I am angry. I feel abandoned. This isn't weakness. This is the beginning of neurological healing. Your brain can only start rewiring once it knows what it's working with. And here's the science behind why naming your emotions works. Dr. Matthew Lieberman at UCLA used fMRI brain scans and found that when people put their feelings into words, activity in the amygdala, the fear center, actually decreased while the prefrontal cortex became more active. In simple words, labeling your emotions calms your brain down. Think about it like this. When you're in a dark room and you hear a strange noise, you're terrified. But the moment someone turns on the light and you see it's just the cat knocking over a cup, the fear disappears. Naming your emotion is like turning on that light. The pain is still there, but now your brain can see it clearly. And a brain that can see the problem can start to solve it. So right now, wherever you are, take a breath and ask yourself, what am I really feeling? Not what you think you should feel. What do you actually feel? That one question is step 1 complete. Now let's move to step 2, and this one is backed by over 30 years of research. Step 2, write it down. This is called expressive writing, and it is one of the most powerful emotional healing tools ever studied. In 1986, psychologist Dr. James Pennebaker found that people who wrote about traumatic experiences for just 4 days made 47% fewer visits to the doctor in the months that followed. They also showed real, measurable improvements in their immune function, confirmed through blood tests. That was the first biological proof in all of psychology that writing could heal. And since then, hundreds of studies have confirmed it. Writing about what hurts you changes the way your brain and body respond to stress. It lowers cortisol. It calms your nervous system. It moves you from emotional chaos to emotional clarity. And the best part? You don't need a therapist for this. You don't need fancy tools. You just need 15 to 20 minutes and something to write on. But how you write matters, and I'll explain that in the next section. There's a specific method that makes this 10 times more effective. Here's the method. Write for 15 to 20 minutes. Do it for at least 3 to 4 days in a row. And here's the key. Don't just describe what happened. Write about how it made you feel. Write about what it means to you. Go deep. A 2019 study published in Psychoneuroendocrinology found that people who did this kind of structured writing showed a 23% reduction in cortisol levels compared to people who wrote about everyday topics. 23%! That is a massive drop in stress hormone just from putting pen to paper. And the same researcher found that expressive writing reduces amygdala reactivity by up to 30%. Meaning your brain's fear center literally becomes less reactive to stressful things. You become calmer, more grounded, more in control. But here's the warning. Studies also showed that writing that only focuses on worry, like going over and over your problems without looking for meaning, actually increased cortisol by 15%. So the goal isn't to vent endlessly. The goal is to write, reflect, and find meaning. That's the difference between staying stuck and moving forward. And it gets even better. When you journal, You activate your prefrontal cortex, the rational thinking part of your brain, while calming the amygdala, which is the emotional reactive part. You're literally shifting the balance of power back to the part of your brain that helps you make good decisions. Research on neuroplasticity shows that journaling strengthens pathways in the prefrontal cortex responsible for reasoning, problem solving, and emotional regulation. It also activates the hippocampus, which is the brain's learning and memory center. So when you write about a painful experience, your brain starts to reprocess it. It takes it from a raw, overwhelming emotion and turns it into a story you can understand. And a story you can understand is a story you can close. That's why people who journal consistently report feeling lighter, clearer, and more in control of their emotions within weeks. So grab that notebook. This is your prescription. No pharmacy needed. Now, let's move to step 3. And this one actually shrinks a part of your brain in a good way. Step 3. Meditate. Now, before you roll your eyes, hear me out. This isn't about sitting cross-legged on a mountain humming for hours. This is about science. Researchers at Harvard Medical School and Massachusetts General Hospital found that after just 8 weeks of mindfulness meditation, participants showed measurably reduced activity in the amygdala, even when they weren't meditating. Let me say that again. The changes lasted even when they were not meditating. Their brains had literally rewired themselves to be less reactive to emotional stress, permanently. The fear center of their brain had gotten quieter. And this wasn't some random small study. This was a controlled trial published in Frontiers in Human Neuroscience using fMRI brain scans. Research from the Rotterdam study, involving thousands of participants and brain scans taken 5 years apart, found that people who practiced meditation and yoga showed a significant reduction in the volume of their right amygdala. The brain's stress and anxiety center actually got smaller. Less amygdala volume means less fear, less anxiety, less emotional reactivity, more peace. And it's not just about shrinking the fear center. Short-term meditation training also led to increased connection between the amygdala and the ventromedial prefrontal cortex, which is the brain region responsible for emotional regulation. Think of it like this. Before meditation, your amygdala is a wild horse running free with no rider. After meditation, the prefrontal cortex grabs the reins. You still feel emotions. You still experience stress, but now you have control over how you respond. You don't explode at small things. You don't spiral into dark thoughts at 2 a.m. You don't lose days to anxiety. Your brain has built a stronger connection between the part that reacts and the part that thinks. And you can start with just 10 minutes a day. Sit somewhere quiet, close your eyes, focus on your breathing. When your mind wanders, and it will, gently bring it back. That's it. That simple act, repeated daily, is literally remodeling your brain. 8 weeks. That's all the science says you need to start seeing real, measurable changes. And there's more. The Harvard study also found something beautiful about compassion meditation, a practice where you send feelings of love and kindness toward yourself and others. People who practice this showed increased amygdala activity when they saw images of human suffering. But wait, that sounds bad, right? Nope. It means their brains became more compassionate, more connected to other people's pain. And, here's the beautiful part, this increase in compassion was directly linked to decreased depression scores. The more compassion they felt for others, the less depressed they became. So meditation doesn't just make you calm, it makes you more human. It opens your heart while it quiets your fear. And if you're healing from emotional pain, that combination is everything. Because emotional recovery isn't just about stopping the hurt, it's about learning to feel again, safely. Now let's talk about step 4, and this one is a total game changer. Step 4, move your body. Listen, A study covered by NPR in January 2026 confirmed that exercise is as effective as antidepressant medication in treating depression. Let that hit you. Moving your body works just as well as medication. And it comes with zero side effects, only benefits. Here's why. When you exercise, your brain releases endorphins. Those are your body's natural painkillers. It also releases serotonin, which is the same chemical that antidepressant drugs target. And dopamine, the chemical that makes you feel motivated and rewarded. So every time you move, you releases dopamine, giving your brain a cocktail of healing chemicals. And that's not even the best part. There's a secret weapon that exercise unlocks inside your brain. A protein so powerful that one neuroscientist called it the miracle grow for the brain. I'll tell you exactly what it is right after this. It's called BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, and it is one of the most important proteins for emotional recovery. BDNF promotes the survival and growth of new brain cells and the formation of new connections between them. It helps your brain rebuild itself. And guess what lowers BDNF? Depression, chronic stress, emotional pain. People with depression have been consistently found to have reduced levels of BDNF. Their brains are literally less able to adapt, change, and heal. But exercise significantly elevates BDNF levels, essentially flooding your brain with the building blocks it needs to repair the damage caused by long-term emotional stress. One study found that patients who added exercise to their therapy showed a 75% rate of improvement or complete remission of depression, compared to just 25% in the group that didn't exercise. 75%! And the increase in their BDNF levels was directly linked to their improvement in depression and sleep quality. This isn't motivation talk, this is neuroscience. Now you might be thinking, okay, but how much exercise do I need? Great question. Research suggests that the optimal dose is around 610 metabolic equivalence minutes per week. That sounds complicated, but it's really not. It's roughly 30 minutes of moderate exercise, 5 days a week. That's something like a brisk walk in the park, a swim at the local pool, or a bike ride around your neighborhood. And the combination of aerobic exercise and resistance training appears to be the most effective. Yoga also shows strong results for increasing BDNF and reducing cortisol while improving emotional regulation. So whether you like running, lifting weights, dancing, swimming, or doing yoga, it all counts. And here's the thing, you don't have to start big. Going from doing nothing to just walking every day, that's where you see the biggest gains. Start small, be consistent, and let the chemistry do its work. Your brain will thank you. Now, step 5. This one sounds too simple to be true, but the brain scans don't lie. Step 5. Practice gratitude. I know, you've heard this before, but have you seen the brain scans? Researchers at the University of California used MRI imaging and found that when people experienced gratitude, the areas of the brain associated with moral reasoning, empathy, reward, and value judgment all lit up. Gratitude activates your medial prefrontal cortex, the decision-making and emotional regulation center. It also activates your hypothalamus, which controls critical body functions like sleep, appetite, and stress hormones. When the hypothalamus is activated by gratitude, your brain floods with dopamine, the pleasure hormone. That's why saying thank you and meaning it actually makes you feel good. A study from Indiana University used brain imaging and found that 3 months after participants wrote gratitude letters, their medial prefrontal cortex showed lasting increased sensitivity to gratitude. Their brains had literally trained themselves to notice more positive things. This is neuroplasticity in action, and the mental health results are incredible. Dr. Robert Emmons, a leading gratitude researcher, found that consistent gratitude practice increases happiness and reduces depression. A 2006 study found that Vietnam War veterans with higher levels of gratitude experienced lower rates of PTSD. Gratitude doesn't just make you feel nice, it builds resilience against trauma. Gratitude also reduces activity in the amygdala, which is your fear and stress center. So you're literally calming the part of your brain that keeps you stuck in anxiety and pain. And people who practice gratitude consistently report better sleep quality, including falling asleep faster and sleeping longer. So here's your prescription. Every morning and every night, write down 3 specific things you are grateful for. Not vague things like my life, specific things like I'm grateful my neighbor smiled at me today, or I'm grateful for that warm cup of tea I had this morning, or I'm grateful I got through that hard meeting without falling apart. Small things, real things. That's what rewires your brain. Step 6. Protect your sleep. This is not optional. When you're emotionally hurt, your sleep is the first thing that suffers. And when your sleep suffers, everything else gets worse. Your cortisol stays high. Your BDNF drops. Your prefrontal cortex, the part you need for emotional control, gets weaker. A study published in the Journal of Psychosomatic Research found that people who wrote in a gratitude journal before bed experienced longer and more restful sleep. That's 2 tools working together, gratitude and sleep. And research shows that journaling for just 5 to 10 minutes before sleep significantly reduces the racing thoughts that keep you awake. Here's your nighttime routine. 1. Write in your gratitude journal. 2. Put your phone away at least 30 minutes before bed. 3. Make your room dark and cool. Sleep is when your brain does its deepest repair work. It's when neuroplasticity happens most powerfully. If you're not sleeping well, you're fighting emotional recovery with one hand tied behind your back. Protect your sleep like your healing depends on it, because it does. Step 7. Connect with other people. I know, when you're hurting, the last thing you want to do is be around people. You want to isolate. You want to hide. But research in the PMC Journal on Neuroplasticity found that social stimuli and enriched environments are critical for brain recovery and cognitive healing. Your brain needs connection. Social interaction releases oxytocin, the bonding hormone, which directly counteracts cortisol. It calms your nervous system. It tells your brain, you are safe, you are not alone. And that signal is essential for emotional recovery. Isolation does the opposite. It keeps your stress response activated and makes healing take longer. You don't need to go to big parties. Just call a friend and talk for 10 minutes. Have lunch with a family member. Sit in a coffee shop and chat with the person next to you. Even small moments of real human connection create big changes in your brain chemistry. Don't heal alone. You weren't built to. Step 8. The hardest one. Forgiveness. And I need to be very clear about what forgiveness is and what it is not. Forgiveness is not saying what happened was okay. It is not pretending you weren't hurt. It is not letting someone back into your life. Forgiveness is a decision to stop carrying the weight of someone else's actions inside your body. Remember what we talked about at the beginning? Emotional pain keeps your cortisol high. It keeps your amygdala firing. It keeps your nervous system on alert. Every time you replay that hurt, every time you go over what they did, your body releases the same stress chemicals as if it's happening again right now. Unforgiveness is like drinking poison and waiting for the other person to get sick. Forgiveness is the act of putting that weight down. Not for them, for you. For your cortisol levels, for your sleep, for your prefrontal cortex, for your life. And I know it's hard. I know it takes time. But every time you choose to release a little bit of that anger, your brain heals a little bit more. And if you're thinking, but you don't know what they did to me. You're right, I don't. And I'm not minimizing your pain, but I need to remind you, studies show that unprocessed emotional pain stays in the body. It shows up as chronic tension, inflammation, immune problems, and even cardiovascular issues. Your body is keeping score. Every grudge, every resentment, every unresolved hurt is a chemical burden on your system. Elevated cortisol over extended periods has been shown to harm brain function, reduce gray matter volume, and increase vulnerability to illness. The longer you hold on to it, the more your body pays the price. Forgiveness is a process, not a moment. Start with willingness. Just say, I am willing to let this go. You don't have to feel it fully yet, but that willingness is the crack that lets the light in, and your brain will do the rest. Neuroplasticity works with your intention. Set the intention and give it time. All right, let's bring it all together. You now have 8 scientifically proven tools for emotional recovery. Step 1. Feel the pain. Name it. Step 2. Write about it for 15 to 20 minutes a day. Step 3. Meditate for at least 10 minutes daily. Step 4. Move your body for 30 minutes 5 days a week. Step 5. Practice gratitude morning and night. Write down 3 specific things. Step 6. Protect your sleep with a nighttime routine. Step 7. Connect with other people, even in small ways. Step 8. Begin the process of forgiveness, not for them, but for you. These are not opinions. These are not feelings. Every single one of these tools is backed by brain imaging, randomized controlled trials, and decades of research. They work. They work because they address the root of emotional pain, the chemistry and wiring of your brain. And they work because your brain was built to heal. Now let me give you a clear daily plan, your 30-day emotional recovery protocol. Morning. Wake up and write 3 things you're grateful for. Then do 10 minutes of meditation. Just breathe and focus. Afternoon. Do 30 minutes of physical exercise. Walk, run, swim, dance, anything that gets your heart rate up. Evening. Write for 15 to 20 minutes about what you're feeling. Don't judge it, don't edit it, just let it out. Then, before bed, write 3 more gratitude notes. Put your phone away. Make your room dark and cool. Sleep. Throughout the day, connect with at least one person in a meaningful way. Call your mother. Text a friend and ask how they're doing. Look someone in the eye and say thank you. And when those painful memories come up, and they will, practice naming the emotion and breathing through it. Don't push it down. Don't run from it. Feel it, name it, and let your brain process it. Now, I won't lie to you. The first week is the hardest. Your brain hasn't built the new pathways yet. The old patterns of pain are loud. You might write in your journal and cry. You might sit down to meditate and your mind goes crazy with thoughts. You might go for a walk and feel nothing. That's normal. That's your brain in the early stages of rewiring. Research on gratitude practice shows that weeks 1 through 3 are when habit formation begins, but you won't see dramatic changes yet. This is the phase where most people quit because they don't feel different. Don't quit, because by week 3 to 4, something starts to shift. You notice you're a little less reactive. That thing someone said doesn't spiral you into rumination. You sleep a little better. You catch yourself smiling at something small. These tiny shifts are your brain rewiring, and they build. Trust the process. And then weeks 4 through 12, that's the sweet spot. Research shows this is when significant mental health improvements occur. Lower anxiety, lower depression, better emotional regulation. Your prefrontal cortex is stronger now. Your amygdala is quieter. Your cortisol levels have dropped. The BDNF from your exercise is building new brain cells. You start to feel like yourself again, not the hurt version of you, not the anxious, reactive, exhausted version, the real you, the one who was buried under all that pain and stress chemistry. And the most beautiful part? These changes are not temporary. The Harvard meditation study confirmed that brain changes from consistent practice are enduring. They last even when you're not actively doing the exercises. You are building a new brain, a more resilient brain, a brain that can handle life's storms without falling apart. And that is emotional recovery. Before we go any further, I need to say something important. Being in emotional pain is not weakness. Going through grief is not weakness. Struggling after betrayal is not weakness. Feeling broken after loss is not weakness. These are normal human responses to difficult experiences. Your brain is doing exactly what it was designed to do: alert you to danger and protect you. The problem isn't that you feel pain. The problem is when the pain response gets stuck, when the alarm keeps ringing long after the danger has passed. That's when these tools become essential, not because something is wrong with you, but because your nervous system needs help resetting. So please, be kind to yourself in this process. Recovery is not a straight line. You will have good days and bad days. You will feel amazing on Monday and fall apart on Wednesday. That's not failure. That's healing. The only failure is giving up on yourself. Let me remind you why this matters so much beyond just feeling better. Research has established that the brain regions involved in anxiety and depression are also responsible for processing physical pain. When someone has chronic emotional pain, they often develop physical symptoms: muscle aches, chest pain, headaches, digestive problems. This isn't imaginary. This is neurology. Your emotional state and your physical state are connected through shared brain circuits. When someone gets their heart broken and says, "My chest literally hurts," that's real. The anterior cingulate cortex, which processes both emotional and physical pain, is genuinely activated. So healing emotionally is also healing physically. Every step you take to reduce cortisol, strengthen your prefrontal cortex, and calm your amygdala is also reducing your risk of chronic pain, cardiovascular problems, immune dysfunction, and long-term illness. This isn't just about your feelings. This is about your whole life. Here's something else the research makes clear. Your environment matters. Studies on neuroplasticity show that enriched environments, including novelty, social stimulation, and positive experiences, significantly improve brain recovery and cognitive function. Your surroundings physically change your brain. If your bedroom is messy, your curtains are always closed, and you haven't left the house in 3 days, your brain isn't getting the stimulation it needs to rebuild. But if you open those curtains, go for a walk in the park, try a new coffee shop, or visit a friend's house, you're feeding your brain the novelty and enrichment it needs. Think of your environment as medicine. Clean your space, let light in, go somewhere you haven't been before, listen to new music, cook a new meal. Each new experience creates new neural pathways. And new neural pathways are exactly what your brain needs to move past old pain patterns. Change your environment, and you change your brain. Oh, and here's a bonus tip that the research supports. When you combine physical exercise with mindfulness, like yoga or Tai Chi, you get double the neuroplastic benefit. These practices reduce stress hormones like cortisol, while also increasing gray matter density in the hippocampus, the memory and learning center of your brain. Mindfulness meditation has been shown to increase gray matter in the hippocampus, the posterior cingulate cortex, and the temporoparietal junction. These are all areas related to self-awareness, compassion, and emotional processing. So when you combine movement with mindfulness, you're hitting your brain from multiple angles. Even a 20-minute yoga session combines breathing, movement, and present moment awareness, 3 recovery tools at once. If you can only do one thing from this entire list, make it mindful movement. Walk, but walk with awareness. Stretch, but stretch with intention. Move and breathe. Your brain will respond. Now here's something crucial. Consistency beats intensity, every time. You don't need to meditate for an hour. You don't need to run a marathon. You don't need to write 10 pages in your journal. A 2018 study in JMIR Mental Health found that journaling for just 15 minutes, 3 days a week, was enough to lower blood pressure and increase well-being. 10 minutes of meditation, 15 minutes of writing, 30 minutes of walking, 3 things on a gratitude list. These are small actions, but done consistently over weeks and months, they produce massive neurological change. Research confirms that the benefits compound over time, but only with regular practice. So don't try to do everything perfectly, just do something every day. A bad meditation is better than no meditation. A messy journal entry is better than a blank page. A slow walk is better than sitting on the couch. Show up for yourself imperfectly, and your brain will still heal. And please, please stop comparing your healing to someone else's. Your friend got over her breakup in 2 months? Good for her. Your coworker seems fine after losing his job. That's his journey. Your timeline is your timeline, and your brain is healing at its own pace based on your unique history, your chemistry, and your circumstances. Some wounds are deeper than others. Some traumas happened in childhood when your brain was still forming. Some losses are so big that the grief will always be part of you, and that's okay. Emotional recovery doesn't mean the pain completely disappears. It means the pain no longer controls you. It means you can think about what happened without your chest tightening. You can remember without drowning. You can feel sad without being sadness. That's recovery. Not the absence of pain, but the presence of peace alongside it. And while we're at it, let's talk about crying. A lot of people, especially men, are taught that crying is weakness. Wrong. Emotional tears actually contain cortisol and other stress hormones. When you cry, you are literally flushing stress chemicals out of your body. It's a biological release mechanism. After crying, your body releases endorphins and oxytocin, the same feel-good chemicals you get from exercise and social connection. That's why you often feel lighter after a good cry. Your body was designed to use tears as a tool for emotional regulation. So if you need to cry, cry. Don't fight it, don't suppress it. Let your body do what it was built to do. Tears are not a sign that you're losing. Tears are a sign that your body is trying to heal. Let it. Now here's a warning. When emotional pain gets really bad, a lot of people turn to numbing. They drink 3 glasses of wine every night to forget. They scroll social media for 4 hours straight without blinking. They binge eat an entire pizza at midnight because the taste gives them 5 minutes of relief. They sleep 14 hours a day because being unconscious hurts less. These are all ways of avoiding the pain. And while they give temporary relief, they block neuroplasticity. They prevent your brain from doing the work it needs to do to heal. Research shows that emotional regulation, not avoidance, is what drives positive brain changes. You can't heal what you refuse to feel. I'm not saying you need to sit in pain 24 hours a day. Rest is okay. Distraction in small doses is okay. But make sure you're also doing the work. The writing, the movement, the meditation, the connection. Balance comfort with growth. That's where healing lives. And here's something interesting about exercise and motivation. Physical activity increases dopamine signaling in the brain, which is the chemical responsible for motivation, pleasure, and reward. So when you're depressed and you have zero motivation to do anything, exercise can literally create the motivation you need to keep going. I know, the irony is that you need motivation to start exercising, but exercise gives you motivation. It's a chicken and egg problem. So here's the trick. Don't wait for motivation. Just put on your shoes and walk out the door. Walk for 5 minutes. That's it. Those 5 minutes will trigger enough dopamine to make you want to keep going. Action comes before motivation, not after. Your brain will reward you for moving, but you have to move first. Trust the chemistry. Take that first step, literally, and let your brain do the rest. Let's talk about your nervous system for a moment. When you're emotionally hurt, your sympathetic nervous system, the fight or flight system, is running the show. Your heart beats faster, your breathing is shallow, your muscles are tense. Your body is ready for battle, even though the battle is inside your mind. Emotional recovery tools like meditation, deep breathing, and journaling activate the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest system. Expressive writing activates the parasympathetic nervous system, promoting relaxation and healing, and reducing cortisol while increasing serotonin and dopamine. Think of it as flipping a switch. You're moving your body from war mode to healing mode. And every time you do that, Every meditation session, every journal entry, every deep breath, you're training your nervous system to spend more time in healing mode and less time in survival mode. That's recovery at the deepest level. Step 9, and yes, I'm giving you a bonus step, reframe your story. The most powerful journaling happens when people use language that captures shifting perspectives and includes words like realize, because, and understand. This process of creating what psychologists call narrative coherence helps your brain integrate painful events into your life story. Instead of writing, "My partner left me and I'm worthless," you write, "My partner left because we weren't right for each other, and I realize now that I deserve someone who chooses to stay." Instead of, "I failed at my business and I'm a loser," you write, "My business didn't work out because I was learning, and now I understand what to do differently." The story you tell yourself about your pain determines how fast you heal. Same event, different story. Completely different brain chemistry. Reframing isn't lying to yourself. It's choosing the interpretation that serves your recovery instead of your destruction. And the words you use literally change your brain. When you label your emotions with specific words, your prefrontal cortex activates and your amygdala calms down. But there's a difference between saying, "I feel bad," and saying, "I feel betrayed," or "I feel abandoned." The more specific the word, the stronger the calming effect. This is why therapy works, not because of magic, but because a good therapist helps you find the right words for what you're experiencing. And once you find those words, your brain relaxes. The unknown becomes known. The chaos becomes a story, and stories can be rewritten. So expand your emotional vocabulary. Don't just say sad. Ask yourself, is it grief? Is it loneliness? Is it disappointment? Is it longing? Each word activates your prefrontal cortex in a slightly different way and gives your brain more precision in processing the emotion. Precision leads to clarity. Clarity leads to peace. I can't talk about emotional recovery without talking about food. Your gut and your brain are connected through what scientists call the gut-brain axis. The foods you eat directly affect the production of neurotransmitters like serotonin, and roughly 90% of your body's serotonin is actually made in your gut, not your brain. So when you eat junk food, processed food, and sugar all day, you're starving your brain of the chemicals it needs to feel good and heal. But when you eat salmon rich in omega-3s, dark leafy greens like spinach, nuts like almonds and walnuts, and fermented foods like yogurt, you're feeding your brain the raw materials it needs to produce serotonin, dopamine, and BDNF. Think of food as brain fuel. You wouldn't put dirty fuel in an expensive car and expect it to run well. Treat your brain the same way. During emotional recovery, eat clean. Eat foods that heal. Your mood will follow your meals more than you think. And this is important. Limit your social media during recovery. When you're emotionally hurt and you scroll through social media, your brain is constantly comparing your pain to other people's highlight reels. That comparison triggers more cortisol, more inadequacy, more isolation. You see your ex looking happy with someone new and your stomach drops. You see a friend posting vacation photos while you can barely get out of bed. You see motivational quotes that make you feel guilty for not being over it yet. Every scroll is a tiny punch to your already bruised nervous system. During your recovery period, cut your social media use in half at minimum. Replace that scrolling time with one of your 8 tools. Write, meditate, move, connect in real life. Your brain doesn't need more comparison. It needs more compassion. Give it that. And I want to be very clear about something. These tools are powerful, but they are not a replacement for professional help when you need it. If your emotional pain is so severe that you can't eat, can't sleep, can't work, or can't function, please see a therapist, a counselor, or a doctor. There is no shame in getting help. Research shows that combining gratitude practice and journaling with professional counseling produces better results than counseling alone. These tools work best as part of a complete approach. Think of them like nutrition and exercise. They're essential for health, but sometimes you also need a doctor. The smartest thing you can do is combine self-care with professional support. If you're in crisis right now, reach out. Talk to someone. You are not a burden. You are a human being going through a difficult time, and asking for help is one of the bravest things you can do. Here's something nobody tells you about emotional recovery. It's boring. Seriously, the daily grind of writing, breathing, walking, and sleeping well, it's not glamorous. It's not dramatic. There's no movie montage where healing music plays and you emerge as a new person in 3 minutes. Real healing is quiet. It happens in the small moments. It's the first morning you wake up and don't immediately feel dread. It's the first time you laugh and it doesn't feel forced. It's the first night you sleep through without waking up in a panic. These tiny victories are the healing. Notice them. Celebrate them. Write them in your gratitude journal. Because every small win is proof that your brain is rewiring itself. Every small win is neuroplasticity in action. You're not where you were 30 days ago. You might not see it yet, but your brain knows. Think of this whole process like going to the gym. The first time you lift a weight, it's hard. Your muscles shake, you can barely do one set. But you come back the next day, and the next, and slowly, imperceptibly, you get stronger. You don't notice it day by day, but 1 month later, you pick up that same weight and it feels light. Emotional recovery works the same way. Every meditation session is a rep for your prefrontal cortex. Every journal entry is a rep for emotional processing. Every walk is a REP for BDNF production. Every gratitude list is a REP for positive neural pathways. You are in the gym right now, an emotional gym, and every day you show up, you get a little bit stronger, a little bit more resilient, a little bit more you. Keep going. The weight gets lighter. I promise. And when you have a setback, and you will, do not panic. Do not think all the progress is lost. Healing is not linear. You might have an amazing week and then get triggered by a song, a smell, a date on the calendar, and suddenly the pain is back as strong as day one. That's not failure. That's your brain processing. Think of it like cleaning out a wound. Sometimes the doctor has to open it back up to clean it deeper before it can heal properly. That setback is deeper cleaning. It hurts, but it's necessary. On those hard days, be extra gentle with yourself. Do your tools gently. Write a little. Breathe a little. Walk a little. Don't push. Just be present with the pain and remind yourself, I have been through this before. I have the tools. I will get through it again. Because you will. Something magical happens as you keep doing this work. Your identity starts to shift. You stop seeing yourself as a broken person who got hurt, and you start seeing yourself as a strong person who is actively healing. That shift changes everything, because identity drives behavior. If you see yourself as broken, you act broken. You isolate. You self-sabotage. You settle. But if you see yourself as someone who is building resilience, someone who is growing through pain, you show up differently. You take better care of yourself. You set boundaries. You make healthier choices. The person you were before the pain, that person is gone. And that's okay. Because the person you're becoming through this process, the one with the rewired brain, the stronger prefrontal cortex, the calmer amygdala, that person is more, not less. More wise, more compassionate, more resilient, more alive. And here's the most beautiful truth of all. Your brain wants to heal. Neuroplasticity isn't something you have to force, it's something your brain does naturally. Every time you give it the right inputs, movement, rest, connection, meaning, it responds. It builds, it repairs, it grows. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to get everything right. You just have to show up and give your brain what it needs. The healing machinery is already inside you. You were born with it. Every human brain has the ability to form new connections, strengthen helpful pathways, and weaken painful ones. You are not a prisoner of your past. You are the architect of your future brain. And every single day, with every journal entry, every meditation, every walk, every grateful thought, you are building a brain that can hold both the memory of pain and the experience of joy. That's not just recovery, that's transformation. So as we wrap up, I want to give you one final tool: celebration. Every time you complete a journal entry, celebrate. Every time you finish a meditation session, celebrate. Every time you choose a walk over the couch, celebrate. Every time you resist the urge to numb and instead sit with your feelings, celebrate. Why? Because celebration releases dopamine, and dopamine reinforces the behavior that triggered it. So when you celebrate your recovery habits, your brain learns, "This feels good. Let's do it again." You are literally training your brain to want to heal. You don't need to throw a party. Just pump your fist and whisper "yes" to yourself. Do a little dance in your kitchen. Text a friend and say, "I just meditated for the first time." Tell yourself in the mirror, "I'm proud of you." Small celebrations, big neurological impact. Here's your daily routine one more time, simplified. Morning, 3 gratitude items, 10 minutes meditation. Afternoon, 30 minutes movement. Evening, 15 minutes journaling. 3 more gratitude items. Phone down, lights off, sleep. Throughout the day, connect with one person. Name your emotions when they come up. Choose one nourishing meal. Limit social media. And when the hard moments hit, breathe. Name it, feel it, let it pass. Print this out. Put it on your fridge. Set alarms on your phone. Make it automatic. Because the more automatic these habits become, the less willpower they require. And the less willpower they require, the more likely you are to do them forever. And forever is how long the benefits last. Imagine yourself 30 days from now. You've journaled every day for a month. You've meditated. You've moved your body. You've written gratitude lists. You've slept better. You've connected with people. You've named your emotions instead of running from them. Research confirms that 4 to 12 weeks of consistent practice produces significant, measurable changes in brain structure and function. Your prefrontal cortex is thicker. Your amygdala is quieter. Your cortisol is lower. Your BDNF is higher. You sleep better. You think clearer. You feel lighter. That's not a fantasy. That's what the science says will happen. Not might happen, will happen. If you do the work consistently, patiently, compassionately. 30 days. That's all that stands between you right now and a version of you that can breathe again. I know that right now some of you watching this are in deep pain. The kind that makes you wonder if it will ever get better. The kind that wakes you up at 3 a.m. The kind that makes food taste like nothing and makes colors look gray. I see you, and I need you to hear this. It gets better. Not because I'm being optimistic, but because the science says your brain is designed to heal. Neuroplasticity continues throughout the lifespan. Your brain is always capable of forming new connections, always capable of change, no matter how old you are, no matter how long you've been hurting. The darkest moment of the night is just before dawn. You are closer to healing than you think. Start today. Start with one tool, just one. Write down 3 things you're grateful for tonight before bed. That's it. Do that one thing, and you've already begun rewiring your brain. Tomorrow, add another. One day at a time, one breath at a time. But I also need to give you some tough love. Nobody is coming to save you. No person, no relationship, no job, no amount of money is going to magically fix your emotional pain. Outside things can help, but the real work happens inside your brain, and only you can do it. That's not a burden. That's power. Because it means you don't need to wait for anyone else. You don't need permission. You don't need the perfect circumstances. You have a brain that can rewire itself. You have 8 tools that are proven to work, and you have the ability to start right now. Take ownership of your healing, not because you caused the pain, maybe you didn't, but because you deserve the freedom that comes from recovery. You owe it to yourself, to your future self, to the life that's waiting for you on the other side of this. Take it. And one more thing, don't rush. I know we live in a world where everything is instant. Instant food, instant entertainment, instant answers. But emotional healing does not work on a microwave timeline. It works on a garden timeline. You plant the seeds, you water them daily, and slowly, things begin to grow. You won't see the roots forming underground. You won't see the neural pathways strengthening. You won't see the cortisol dropping on a graph. But it's happening. Every single day you show up, it's happening. Give yourself the gift of time. Give yourself the gift of patience. Give yourself the gift of grace when you stumble. This is the most important work you will ever do, and you are doing it right now by watching this video, by choosing to learn, by choosing to heal. You've already started. Now, if this video helped you, I have a request. Think about one person in your life who is going through emotional pain right now. Maybe they lost someone. Maybe they're going through a divorce. Maybe they just seem different lately. Quieter, sadder, more withdrawn. Share this video with them because they might not search for this on their own. They might not know that their brain can heal. They might be sitting in the dark right now thinking this pain is forever, and this video might be the light that shows them another way. We heal together. Connection is step 7 for a reason. By sharing this knowledge, you're not just helping one person, you're creating a ripple effect. Their healing improves their relationships, which improves their family, which improves their community. One share, countless lives changed. Do it. Now let me add one more layer to everything we've discussed. In Eastern philosophy, there's a concept that pain and suffering are not the same thing. Pain is what happens to you. Suffering is how long you carry it. The Buddha taught that attachment to how things should have been is what creates suffering. Think about that. The breakup hurts because you're attached to how the relationship should have been. The betrayal hurts because you're attached to how that person should have treated you. The loss hurts because you're attached to how life should have continued. I'm not saying let go of the pain. We already covered that. I'm saying let go of the attachment to the alternate reality that never happened. Accept what is, not what should have been. Acceptance is not defeat. Acceptance is the doorway to peace. And your brain heals fastest from a place of peace. And from the Western tradition, the ancient Stoic philosopher Epictetus said something that has survived 2,000 years because it's so true. It is not events that disturb us, but our judgments about them. Notice how that perfectly aligns with the neuroscience we discussed about reframing. The event is neutral. Your interpretation creates the emotion. And your brain, physically changes based on that interpretation. The same breakup can make one person bitter for years and make another person grow into the strongest version of themselves. Same event, different interpretation, different brain chemistry. You get to choose your interpretation. Not immediately, don't force it when the pain is fresh. But as you heal, as your prefrontal cortex gets stronger, as your amygdala gets quieter, you gain the power to choose what this experience means. And that power is the ultimate freedom. If you've made it this far in this video, I want to acknowledge something. It takes courage to sit with content about emotional healing. It takes courage to admit that you're hurting. And it takes courage to learn how to heal instead of pretending everything is fine. Wherever you are right now, in your bed, on the bus, at your desk, walking down the street with earphones in, you are not alone in this. Millions of people around the world are going through something similar right now, and millions of people have used these exact tools to come out the other side. You are part of a long human tradition of pain, healing, and growth. You're not broken. You're not weak. You're not defective. You are human. And being human means you get hurt sometimes, but it also means you can heal every time. Let's do one final summary of the science. Emotional pain activates the same brain regions as physical pain. Chronic emotional stress raises cortisol, weakens the prefrontal cortex, and strengthens the amygdala. This makes you more anxious, more reactive, and less able to think clearly. But neuroplasticity means your brain can change at any age. Journaling reduces cortisol by up to 23% and calms the amygdala. Meditation reduces amygdala activity and increases prefrontal cortex connectivity in just 8 weeks. Exercise releases endorphins, serotonin, dopamine, and BDNF. Gratitude activates reward centers and reduces depression. Sleep allows deep neural repair. Social connection releases oxytocin. Forgiveness removes the chemical burden of chronic stress. This is not opinion. This is neuroscience. Every tool in this video is backed by peer-reviewed research, brain imaging studies, and randomized controlled trials. This is your brain's instruction manual for healing. Use it. Here's what I want you to do tonight. Not tomorrow, not next week, tonight. Get a notebook or open your phone's notes app. Write the date at the top. Then write 3 things you are grateful for. Be specific. Then write for 10 minutes about what you're feeling right now. Don't judge it, just write. Then put your phone away. Make your room as dark as possible. Take 10 slow, deep breaths, in through your nose, out through your mouth. And go to sleep knowing that you just completed 4 recovery tools in one sitting: gratitude, journaling, breathing, and sleep protection. Tomorrow morning, write 3 more gratitude items and go for a walk, even 10 minutes. That's it. That's how this starts. Not with a dramatic transformation, with a notebook and a walk. The science will do the rest. Your brain will do the rest. You just have to start. Close your eyes for a second. Picture yourself 1 year from now. You've been doing this work for 12 months. Your brain has formed thousands of new connections. Your cortisol baseline is lower. Your BDNF is higher. You sleep deeply. You think clearly. You feel emotions without being consumed by them. The thing that broke you a year ago, you can talk about it now without your voice shaking. You can remember it without your chest tightening. It's part of your story, but it no longer defines your story. You are stronger. You are calmer. You are more compassionate toward yourself and others. That person is real. That future is available to you. It's not behind a paywall. It's not locked behind a degree or a special skill. It's waiting for you on the other side of consistency. 30 days builds the habit. 12 months builds the person. Start tonight. I want to leave you with this. Your pain is valid. Your tears are valid. Your anger is valid. Your grief is valid. Everything you feel is real and it matters. But it is not your final chapter. It is a chapter, not the whole book. Your brain is the most remarkable organ in the known universe. It can learn new languages at 60. It can recover from injuries that doctors said were permanent. It can form new connections every single day until the day you die. And it is ready, right now, to start healing you. So take a deep breath, put your hand on your heart, and say to yourself, out loud if you can, I am healing, I am rewiring, I am growing, and I will be okay. Because you will. The science says so. And now, so do you. Thank you for staying with me through this entire video. The fact that you're still here tells me something important about you. You are serious about healing. And that seriousness is already the beginning of your recovery. Your brain is already different than it was an hour ago because of what you've learned. If you found value in this, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on the bell so you don't miss future content. Leave a comment below telling me which of the 8 steps you're going to start with tonight. I read every single comment. And if someone you know needs to hear this, share it. Be that person who helps someone else find their way back to themselves. Remember, feel it, write it, meditate, move, be grateful, sleep well, connect, and forgive. 8 tools, 1 healed brain, your healed brain. Go build it, starting now. I'll see you in the next one.